today? Thursday. I think it's the 17th. Anywho, good morning. Thank you for joining me. And thank you for joining me, Pumpkin. I'm glad you decided to come and join me on this chair. So, my name is T. Waldron, and my channel is about physical, mental, and overall fitness. All the fitnesses psychological, financial, emotional, um, self, like sense of purpose, all that. Today I want to read to you a little lesson from another book by Florence Scovel Shinn. This is called The Magic Path of Intuition. Now, Florence Scovel Shinn is an amazing woman. She lived around the turn of the century. She self-published her first book called The Game of Life and How to Play It. Oh, do I have my mic on? No. Where did I put my mic? Here it is. How's that better? Okay. She self-published the book, The Game of Life and How to Play It, in 1925. So that was a really bold move. I love that. Some of her stuff all says he and him, but just please interpret that as you will, because consider the time it was written. So this book was produced after she passed away. And somebody found it and sent it to Hay House, which is a great publishing company that does a lot of self-growth and positive material. It's phenomenal. That was founded by Louise Hay. So anyway, this is lesson 1. So there's all these little lessons in here, and it's beautifully illustrated. There's a little butterfly on a balloon. Okay, so this is lesson 1, the magic path of intuition. Oh, this is such a great quote. Prayer is telephoning to God, and intuition is God telephoning back to us. How interesting is that? Like when you get an intuition, do you ever feel that way? Do you ever have a thought and it sort of guides you on the right way to go? That happens to me all the time. Good morning. Hi, Colt. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You're joining Pumpkin and me. I'm Teresa. You can call me T. So intuition, prayer is telephoning to God, and intuition is God telephoning to you. Now, I'm not like a total holy roller or anything. I just do believe in like spirit and like we're part of the universe. I know that sounds very hippy dippy. Good morning, Colt. But you know what? We're all part of the larger collective. We're all in the world. So you can't deny that. And I'm going to go on with her because she does talk about that thought between ourselves and the bigger world. And it's really life affirming. Like if you ever go out in nature, you may feel very, very in touch with like yourself and with like a higher power. And it's up to you how you interpret that. But here's what she goes on to say. True prayer means preparation. Having made your demands on the universal supply for any good thing, act immediately. So that's an important part. Thanks for the hearts. Act immediately. So like I kind of say what I want. I'm like, oh, I hope I have a good workout today, okay? And then I'll head out and go work out. So you can say what you want, but then it's on us to take that action, So you can say whatever you want, but you can't just sit there and wait for it to happen. I mean, you could, but I like to take action and move towards that. Act immediately as if you expected to receive it. Show active faith, thereby impressing your subconscious mind with expectancy. Isn't that interesting? Good morning. Yeah, thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. Pumpkin and I are digging your good vibes. So basically it's like set your expectation and then move towards it. Very cool lesson. And she likes to tell like little stories. So, oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Mark. There was a lady who knew the law of preparation. So she works with the universal laws. So I don't know if you've heard of the Hermetic laws. Those were back with Hermes. I think he was Greek. And those, like he wrote, I think 7 or 8 laws that she really follows. And they seem to help people manifest and change their lives for the better, which is super cool. So here's her story. There was a lady who knew the law of preparation and purchased expensive magazines to give herself the feeling of opulence. Intuition told her to buy the magazine, so this woman followed her intuition. One way to cultivate intuition is to say before you go to sleep, in the morning I'll know just what to do. And ideas will flash before you for no apparent reason. No, I said that wrong. Ideas will flash before you begin to reason. only I could read. Ideas will flash before you begin to reason. So when you like don't have your brain that is like telling you all the words and talking to you all the time, there's two parts of our brain. There's the left side and the right side. There's one very analytical part, which is very important for certain things, but then the intuitive part is another part of your brain. So you really want to just kind of tap into that a little. We tend to tap into one side of the brain or another, and I know, pumpkin, right? And we want to really both use both sides of our brain because they both help us in different ways maneuver through life. So again, here's her quote. If you just tuned in, this is a book called The Magic Path of Intuition by Florence Scovel Shinn. She's amazing. So here's that quote again. Prayer is telephoning to God. So we set our, and we're like, God, please, or universe, please do whatever. And then intuition is God telephoning back. So I never really realized how much give and take there is with that. Good morning. Oh, hi from Greece. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. Hi, Billy. Thanks for tuning in. And Mark and Liani. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. It's so cool to see. And if you want to put in the chat where you're tuning in from, I think that's really cool. Yeah, so you're putting it out there to the universe, to God, to whatever you believe in, some higher power, and then you listen, and then God, or the universe comes back to you with little messages or signs, and you just have to be aware of it. In the Incredibles, that old movie from Pixar, Enda Moles, she says luck favors the prepared. So it's kind of, I always think of that. I'm like, okay, I wanted this. Now, what is in my life right now that just popped up that might be leading me toward that? It's very cool. So so prayer is telephoning to God. Intuition is God telephoning to you. Intuition comes from your superconscious mind. It is the God within. So we all have this. We all have a soul. We all have God within us. I think, that's kind of a universal across most religions. The subconscious is simply power without direction. In the past, she's compared this to steam. It's a lot of power, but it just goes wherever. But these laws that she teaches us help us guide that power. Very cool. So she says, what you feel deeply or say with feeling is impressed upon the subconscious and carried out to the minutest detail. It is your soul and it must be restored. Impress the subconscious with perfect ideas of the superconscious mind instead of doubts and fears. Okay, doubts and fears can take us. They can take us off course. If we're scared or we compare ourselves to others or we're afraid of what people think of us, that can mess with our whole intuitive system and cause us to ignore it. And it's those types of thoughts tend to be much louder than our intuition. So they can really, really do a number on us when we don't listen to our intuition. So very cool. So good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. So I think that's good. I'll end it with this. You have no need for resentment, resistance, fear, worry, all forms of fighting, etc. The situation you resent will be wiped out. Stand still, keep your poise, and use the power within to fight your battle. Okay? Anger and resentment blur your vision and affect our eyesight and prevent us from following our intuitive leads. So we all have the intuition within us. We just have to tap into it. And it's like a muscle. It's like going to the gym. You work out at the gym and you get stronger. This mental fitness is very, very much like that, but you don't see it. So it's much harder to deal with. So I'm gonna put this away now, and then we'll do a little bit. Let's do a cheer, okay? So from myself to yourself. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Have a beverage. Stay hydrated. Take care of yourself. You're worth it, okay? I hope you have a beautiful day. I'm not going to do the breathing today because I got to head out to yoga. But I hope you have a fantastic day and a blessed day. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Okay.